Stay City Apart Hotels. Half apartment, half hotel. Warm beds, comfy sofas, and fully equipped kitchens. We offer guests more, so you can do more. Cook, sleep, work, play. Welcoming, accommodating, and big beds for jumping. Smart travellers choose Stay City because Stay City is the smart choice. Stay City, half apartment, half hotel, all across Europe. Save 10% every time you book at staycity.com.
Welcome to Parnell Park for the Go-Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior Football 1 Championship clash between St Vincents and Skerries Harps. Everything is to play for here in Group 4. Nothing is decided going into the final round. St Vincents and Skerries can both get through. Vincents are on 2 points. Skerries are on 0, but you have Thomas Davis and Kilmacud meeting in another game at the moment. It's thrown in at the same time at O'Toole Park. Crokes are top of the group at the moment with 4. Thomas Davis, they're on 2. But we could have a situation where Crokes could potentially win. We could have a win for Skerries Harps here, and you're going to have 3 teams on 2 points. I'm Shane Stapleton, joined by Paul Clark. Everything really is to play for here today.
Yeah, and I think that's why the competition was designed that way, that, lose 1 game in the championship and forget about it. Lose 2, God, I still have a chance of making it, And, it's important to know that 3 games into the championship you still have a chance. And, both teams are going to go for it. Like, you can't think we're going to sit back and hope. Like, Vincents aren't going to sit back and say, look, hopefully we get through and depending on results. Today is all out a shootout. Doesn't matter what happens elsewhere. And hopefully they go for it. Yeah,
so Skerries Harps, they need to win, and they need Thomas Davis to lose against Kilmacud Crokes. And I suppose a lot of people would fancy Crokes, given their record over the years, to do just that. St Vincent's, it's a much changed team. They're the record title holders, and we saw that run where they were winning all Irelands and just, collecting titles around them in recent decades. But last title is 2017. They're very, very changed. And we'll come to the teams in a moment. We'll start off with Skerries, though. And I'll just run through the team here, and you might tell us, Paul, 1 or 2 players that stand out for you. In the goals is Cormac Rocks. In the full-back line is Sean Rocks, Ronan Gagan and Derek Gailty. Fionn O'Leary, Owen O'Connor Flanagan and Adam Fearon make up the half-back line. It's Ethan Dunn and Killian McGuinness at midfield. Harry Dawson, Greg McEnany and Kevin Gilmore are going to be on the top 40. And then Jack Smith, Kieran Murphy and Stephen Smith, Paul.
If competitions are won on paper, they've just won the competition. All out. A serious group of players, a serious group of young players, and I think in the next couple of years, maybe 3, they will win the Dublin Senior Championship if managed right, coached right, and they come through. You look at the 2 boys at midfield. Killian has had a really good year with Dublin, both National League, getting looks in the Championship. Really strong, athletic player, and also can go up the pitch and kick points. You have former underage captains. You have Owen O'Donnell Flanagan at centre half back, ex-under-20 captain. You have ex-minor captains in there. Up front you have the 2 Smith brothers, have had inter-county experience. And you have Greg McEnany, who normally plays at number 6. You may be seeing, maybe drifting back to be a +1 or to actually lead the charge from the number 6 position and press and kick-outs. So a really strong side, and Harry Dawson gives you great experience in that forward line as well. He's around a while and he's a good player.
Okay, well look, we'll move now to the St Vincent's team. Andy Smith, he starts in goals. Michael Concar, he's been around the block a few times. He's at cornerback. Adrian Cummins is at 3 and Shane O'Leary is at 4. The half-back line is James Brady and Craig Wilson in either wing. And Dara Cummins, just like Adrian, 2 Sligo men. He plays at number 6. The midfield is Jarlath Curley and Mark Lestrange. The half-forward lines is Albie Martin, Gavin Burke and James McCusker. And finally, the full forward line, Caleb O'Brien, Cian Dunn and Paul Reynolds-Hand. Paul.
Yeah, 3 and 6, 2 brothers, really strong players. very defensively minded. Number 3, Adrian is. But Darragh is a serious footballer. He's very competitive. He can get forward at times. He can kick scores. He can create. He can hold position. He can play various roles for the team, and he's going to be important. Jarlath Curley, a little bit of a, how to say, lease of life gone out to the midfield area from the full back, but he was away for a while. He's back, and a huge presence around there. He went off the last day, I think, injured, and hopefully he's fit to play today. Albert Martin is a key score getter for them, as is Cian Dunn inside, and James McCusker, another fine player. And these players are going to have to play well to beat this Skerries outfit.
Okay, well, we're getting close to throw-in now. Luke Lacey is our referee today. Just in terms of the quarterfinals and what we already know is going to happen. So in a couple of weeks' time, Coola are going to play Castleknock in a quarter-final. Castleknock, 14 men for much of the game, had a brilliant win over Raheny. Nafina will meet Clontarf. And in terms of this group, whoever comes first in this group will meet Ballyboden, and whoever comes second will meet Ballymun. So, I mean, that's the prize, all right. Some people would say it's the booby prize because two brilliant teams waiting for them, Paul, but exciting championship.
Yeah, and that's the way it's worked out. There's whoever comes out of this today, if they qualify for the quarterfinal, no one will want to play them. The Dublin Championship, and I mentioned it yesterday in commentary, that even though Dublin are now of an All-Ireland Championship, the 2 months leading up to Club Championship has made teams very, very close and very, very competitive, and no one will want to play a Vincents or a Skerries Harps in a quarterfinal if they go through. Okay, well, the ball is thrown in by Luke Lacey. Skerries Harps win that first ball. Killian McGuinness moves it back to Owen O'Connor Flanagan. McGuinness once more. Bit of pace injected. But it's a quick turnover, and looks like Nathan Mullins has started at midfield for St. Vincent's. Yeah, and Bill Costello's also gone in there starting for Vincent's as well. Quick turnover now by Skerries Harps. Looking to inject a bit of pace straight away again, Adam Fearon. There's plenty of changes on both sides. We weren't given too much notice of that, but play goes on. And Skerries are in. There was a real goal chance here, but a brilliant block. Number 21 snuffed out Paddy Kelly, and Vincent's, they do just enough to escape that early chance from Skerries and working the ball out now, Paul. Yeah, so in management would say that's an inspirational change, that he had that and he had a chance if he scored. It was brilliant. And this with squads the size that both teams have, if you want to throw in changes, it's because of what strengths they have on the bench. But obviously maybe there's a couple of injuries with championship games coming thick and fast, the first 2 rounds, fairly recently. They may have injuries and fellas not able to start. Vincent's have the ball now. They're trying to work it up the field, and referee Luke Lacey feels that was just a bit too over-eager from Killian McGuinness. Gavin Burke is standing over the ball. We can see three Skerries fellas staying up anyway, being marked by 3 Vincents. So, they look to get the ball quickly, transition it up the pitch. And obviously at the moment they're not looking to get guys back and crowding out the fence. The second game we had yesterday was a bit like that with Clontarf, a great young team and very offence minded. They scored a lot, but sometimes that means you can concede a lot as well. Okay, the wind is behind Cian Dunn's back. Pulls the trigger and shanks that out to the right. So still 0-0 after a couple of minutes here. It's going to be tough to judge that win today, Paul. And I thought Cian would have gone off the ground. He's a great belt for ball from distance. I thought that was well in his range distance wise. And the breeze, a bit like a golfer, you put it higher in the air, the breeze had more of an effect on it. So that first kick out is away. And Skerries are out. Owen O'Connor Flanagan plays it out wide. Bit of pressure being put on now already by the Vincent's wing forward, Albie Martin. Owen O'Connor Flanagan once more. He has runners. One of those is Stephen Smith. And back now to Greg McEnany. And he gets it back to Smith once more. Owen O'Connor Flanagan runs into traffic, turns the ball over and gets it back once more. McEnany shifts one way, swings one on his right,
but drains just to the left and wide. That was a good chance there.
Yeah, crowded. There's a bit of pressure on him. That breeze will be probably very hard to kick into, and it was the case yesterday as well. And as he struck the ball, you knew by his demeanour and his actual the way he looked up himself, you knew that was actually going wide.
Yeah, a little bit of dejected now as Vincents tried to work the ball out once more. Shane O'Leary goes inside to Nathan Mullins, very experienced player. Had a bout playing for Donegal.
And Nathan hasn't started many games now this year. Obviously there was a chance for him to get a bit of game time the last round and a start today. So I'll be interested to see is there a full 60 minutes in him.
A little bit of a nudge there on Paul Reynolds' hand. So another opportunity for Cian Dunn to take a free. A more difficult one in terms of the angle, but certainly a lot closer to goal.
Yeah, for a right footer, his quality, he'd look to swing this over. Because he had been taking frees even when Mossy Quinn was still with us. It sounds like he's dead. We're not putting Mossy in the ground yet. He's running half marathons in a beat and that types of things like that. He's still in great shape. But this guy's a good free taker.
You could see the two umpires nodding to each other. That's the first point on the board for Cian Dunn and for St. Vincent's, so that'll have them settled into the game, Paul.
Yeah, important for his confidence too that he can do that. Kept the flight of the ball a little bit lower. The wind didn't really get into it, but it's a nice swing for him.
This time Cormac Rock puts it up in the air. And the ball is breaking, touches the referee, so he's going to toss the ball up in the air again.
You would think that Skerries would have the advantage with aerial height and the fact that the two big midfielders that they have in there. But for the Skerries keeper kicking the ball out, it's just going to hang a little bit.
Paddy Kelly with the ball now. They seem to have an injury.
Yeah. Bit of a clash there. They got a real finger in the eye or a bang in the face.
Given the strength of the wind today, do you think St. Vincent's will be tempted to press up an awful lot on these kickouts?
Again, their thought process is probably the players that they have in the team and whether they have the strength to actually do that and have the energy to do that. They may think, well, look, the breeze isn't so strong, so let them force it, and maybe they'll jump onto it and break it, like Jarlath and Nathan, who'll be strong and have aerial strength and a bit of aggression. Will try and break that ball and break it forward. The kickouts, I don't think are going to go anywhere near the halfway line. As we've seen with that last one, and there was a lot of crowded bodies around, a lot of guys looking for hunt and breaking ball. And Gavin Burke would be great, and they're coming from centre half forward into that midfield area to try and win that breaking ball.
Well, Ethan Dunn is okay to continue. Nathan Mullins picked up a yellow card, so he'll have to be on his best behaviour for the remainder of this game.
Bit early now to get yellow,
Absolutely, in what could be a very physical game. Ronan Gagan with the ball. It's again Adam Fearon, and he's clipped over by Josh Kelly. One of those changes that we've seen early doors for St. Vincent's, or certainly from the start.
Adam is a player now I really want to see in real life and see how he performs. A fine footballer, plagued by injury in the league, didn't get much league time, and obviously got no time with Dublin when he was in around that development squad.
Stephen Smith now, injecting a bit of pace in towards the D. Work back to McEnany, and now Owen O'Connor Flanagan tries to cut one over on the left boot, but just shanks it wide once more. So we're 7 minutes into the game now, and Skerries are yet to get on the score sheet. Andy Smith clips it out to this side. Greg Wilson to Josh Kelly. Does well to spin out of trouble. Nathan Mullins to Paul Reynolds' hand, but it's turned over, and now it's Jack Smith turning and putting his team on the front foot. Stephen Smith, now it's number 21, Paddy Kelly, has a pop but drops it just short, and again that's a missed opportunity for Skerries. And they're on the front foot once more. Smith, Fearon, and now Kelly has a chance once more and buries it to the back of the net. St. Vincent's authors of their own downfall there, but a brilliant finish after Kelly had just missed the chance.
That's 2-1 he should have scored really at this stage. Yeah, it was their own fault, Vincent's own fault, the way they turned over the ball. Bit of energy from Skerries. They had numbers up there anyway from that previous attack. and turned her over really well. Game on, they're in it now.
That Skerries very much settled, had missed a few chances, but now they're on the front foot. Nice turnover from Killian McGuinness on Gavin Burke. He's running into traffic and turns it over, so good recovery from St. Vincent's. Dara Cummins gets the ball, and it's worked outside to eventually finds its way over to the far corner. Reynolds' hand taking his man on, but he's turned back. Decides to arc his way out and curl that one over the bar. Beautiful response for St. Vincent straight away.
Yeah, great ball by Jarlath Curley into the corner. Probably 2-on-1. He said maybe there's no chance here. But, had the belief and trust in himself to clip that score.
Yeah, really nice score from Reynolds' hand. That has him on the board. And St. Vincent's, after gifting away a goal like that, albeit Harps did very, very well to convert, that will certainly settle them down.
Now I'm looking at the flags on the sideline here, and towards the clubhouse. That's a 4 or 5 maybe point breeze, So Vincent will want to go in with that type of lead, I think.
Fantastic catch from Greg McEnany. Looks to fire it upfield straight away. But St. Vincent's are going to win this ball, albeit the pressure put on from Kieran Murphy. He's overdone it, so it's a free out. Shane O'Leary gets the ball out to the far wing. It's worked out once more. Cian Dunn looking for options in front of him, but has to go backwards. Now it's Gavin Burke. Switches this side to James Brady. Burke once more. And Mullins. Dunn. He's been turned over very, very nicely. Excellent tackle there from Neil Matthews. Killian Emmett, another player who wasn't down to start.
Vincent's had no options inside when Dunn had the ball outside the 50-yard line, and then also with a +1, and Greg McEnany went in there as a +1, thought that he might actually do that, playing at centre half forward. But we've seen 3 elements already. A great catch at midfield and kick out as well.
Skerries driving forward now, but once again, both teams getting lots of turnovers early on. And that may continue now if Skerries can just get to this ball first. But Paul Reynolds' hand does incredibly well. He's facing 2 defenders, Ronan Gagan and Adam Fearon, so he'll do well to get out of there alive, which he does do. Dara Cummins now, the Sligo man. Josh Kelly back to Burke. Burke's been on the ball a lot early in this game. It's the number 10 now driving through. Albie Martin cuts onto his right foot. Has a cut, but no. That's wide once more.
Yeah, it's a bit of an error thrown. Is it good tackling by players, or is it weak holding of the ball? The turnovers being made. And Vincent's got to punish them. If they are getting the ball up there, you've got to get these scores. It's important for them. It's no surprise now if Skerries are actually using this and just slowing it down a small bit, let the first half go by a bit quicker.
Skerries' goalkeeper is not wearing the usual number 1, wearing number 32, I think. Bit difficult to pick out the numbers. We'll assume that's still Cormac Rocks in there. He goes long either way with this one, gets it out to the 65. Killian McGuinness gets a hand to it. Ultimately, it's Josh Kelly, breaks it away, but he leaves his boot in. And it's a Skerries free, but they've given away possession now. So both teams really at this early doors.
So much space. The free to be taking so much space. He's looking to hit him right in the chest instead of popping the ball out in front of him. And Greg McEnany done something similar. He took a great catch here about 2 minutes ago and tried to spin the ball straight in on top.
Straight into Cian Dunn. He's looking to turn his man straight away. Still on the ball. Chased by a couple of Skerries defender. Greg McEnany the closest right now. And Dunn eventually takes too many steps, but after feeling the ball brilliantly, he could have slowed the game down, but instead he looked to go for that goal. But Skerries really good discipline defending back there, and ultimately Dunn overdoes it.
It should have a bit more composure. That if the mark was on to play the mark, to take the score.
Adam Fearon, been shadowed by Josh Kelly, takes on Kelly. And eventually it's a free for a little tug. Referee Luke Lacey unhappy, and he's going to his book. And does go for a yellow card. Was a small bit harsh, Paul?
Hasn't been that type of game, and I don't recall, unless there was a bit of a late tackle maybe a couple of minutes ago, he was involved as well. Maybe something that referee has seen already, that he's committed two or three frees or 2 or 3 fouls, that he felt it was necessary to do that.
Goalkeeper Cormac Rocks to Sean Rocks. He's looking for options now and feeds it backwards before eventually it comes in forward here to Kieran Murphy. He's been shadowed, cuts back onto his right foot, swings one over from the edge of the D, or certainly would like to, but instead draws it to the right and wide. So that's a 3rd wide so far for Skerries Harps. They also dropped one short. And other than that goal, they have not been particularly accurate in front of goal.
Everybody says the edge of the D, that's your shooting zone, but into that breeze, you want to be getting a little bit closer and be very sure of what you're doing when you're going to execute that shot.
That was a brilliant kick out from Adam Smith over the top to Craig Wilson. Mark Lestrange now under a lot of pressure here at the sideline, manages to keep it in. Linesman was inspecting that closely, but felt that it didn't go out over the line. Josh Kelly now one of 2 Vincents players. Here's the other one on a yellow card from early in the game. Nathan Mullins works it across to Dunn, who's a bit further out this time.
I think Vincents like to see Dunn inside.
Skerries certainly getting numbers back there. Now it's Dara Cummins. And Reynolds' hand. His only options seem to be backwards at the moment. Burke to Kelly. Burke once more. Pulls the trigger from about 40 yards out, straight over the bar. Excellent score. 1 goal to 3 points. It's levelled up.
The first time Gavin has done that. Still a young man, but he seems to be around for a long, long time in that Vincents panel. In the success that he had and difficulties he had, Gavin has been in there all the time. Played in different positions for the team. Hugely important. And that's a great score from him.
And somehow it seemed as if initially Jarlath Curley, or I should say Ethan Dunn, had his hand on the ball, but Nathan Mullins eventually comes away with it.
Yeah, he came to come through to try and break it actually with his right hand, and he took the catch with his left.
James Brady. Mark Lestrange is eventually pumped into the corner for Reynolds' hand. He spills the ball, much to the relief of Ronan Gagan, and it's a sideline ball to Skerries Harps.
He probably seen that coming in and had in his mind what he wanted to do before he actually had the ball to do it.
Skerries will be happy enough 16 minutes or so into the game, playing against a strong enough wind, playing upfield. It's slightly uphill here. Be happy enough?
Well, they've missed chances. That's the thing about it, They've one score and it's a goal, and then they've missed chances. And at the same time, they haven't really opened up Vincents in a way to say, well, look, they are a threat to them, and that's what we expected. The 2 Smith brothers and Greg McEnany up front that they weren't actually going to do it, or even Killian McGuinness getting up the pitch to get a score. So you haven't seen that from them.
Killian Emmett fouled on this occasion, and Killian McGuinness coming across out on the right hand side against the wind. This could be a difficult one from here, but
the keeper's coming up to have a pop. You'd really like them to try and maybe work it in. This is a championship winning score. Like, this is something that you want a fella to kick to win a championship final. This is not a pressure. We'll not say pressure on them, but it's it'll be a tough execution.
Yeah, it's going to be an extra few yards given that it is out closer to the sideline, but a couple of his kickouts have gotten out to the 65, so he might feel that he has the range. Cormac Rocks now to put his team ahead once more and score their first point of the game.
That breeze will be gusting over the top of that stand.
Looks close to having the distance, but drops just short. Andy Smith has the ball, deals with it, runs into traffic, and eventually the referee decides that the Skerries Harps attackers, or would-be tacklers, had fouled the keeper, and that's a bit of a let off there. That's the second time that Skerries have dropped a shot short to Adam Smith. And now Vincents are on the front foot. Mark Lestrange looking ahead to see what his options are. Instead goes inside to Dara Cummins. Now Burke, who's had his hands on the ball a lot early on, clips a nice kick pass inside to Reynolds' hand. This time it sticks. Now James Brady. And Vincent slowing it down now. Skerries Harps, they're back in their shape. Michael Concar switched across to Lestrange, but it's cut out, almost cut out. Lestrange can recover, and he knocks the ball over to Reynolds' hand. Dara Cummins, powerful figure, carrying it into traffic, but manages to get away to Burke, who has another shot from distance. And once more over the bar. Excellent score from Gavin Burke, putting his team back in front for the first time since the second or third minute. Really nice score from Gavin Burke. Kevin Gilmore gives the ball to Ronan Gagan, and Skerries are out once more, coming outside their own 45. Stephen Smith with Fearon gives the ball to Paddy Kelly. And now Skerries are driving inside the 45 of St. Vincent's. Kieran Murphy. It's all tight in there. Paddy Kelly eventually gets the shot away, and that's a first point for Skerries Harps in the 20th minute. That's 1-1 now for Paddy Kelly, and an excellent score.
Yeah, patient enough build-up. Get a shooter on the ball. Paddy has had plenty to say in this game so far, and he's had plenty to do. He's probably the one bright star for Skerries in his contribution.
But you did mention beforehand there's a lot of attacking power in this Skerries Harp team. If some of those other players start making contributions, they can really make a burst in this game.
Yeah, but we're looking at Stephen Smith was back here on his own 70-metre line, getting on the ball, you know, when you'd really hope to see him up there. Now maybe it's difficult getting the ball up because of that strong breeze, and we'll see more of that in the second half, and maybe more of him.
Killian McGuinness bounding forward now. And a really nice tackle there. It's difficult to pick out the number. I think that might be one of the Cummins. Now here comes Dara Cummins.
He'd love that. That was like a 60-40 against him type of tackle, and he said, I'll have a piece of this, you know.
Yeah, that was body on the line stuff.
And come out for it, you know. It's the type of player he is. He's big, strong, abrasive, and that was a ball that maybe he shouldn't have won, but he didn't give up on it, and it was a big hit.
And Vincents didn't profit for it. A ball inside for Reynolds' hand eventually just went out wide, so that's a little bit wasteful from Vincents when they had an opportunity to counter at pace. Ronan Gagan to Sean Rocks. Goalkeeper Cormac Rocks. Patient from Skerries Harps, and Vincents are happy enough to allow their opponents play it in front of them.
And Vincents are playing with that +1 at the moment in the front of the full back line.
Nice injection of pace from Jack Smith here. Paddy Kelly, the only scorer for Skerries up to now. Feeds a low ball inside to Stephen Smith, who's cutting inside the edge of the 21 to Jack Smith again, who eventually runs out of road and has his shot blocked down inside the 14. And Dara Cummins, yeah, he was fouled by a couple of the Skerries players there, but that was an opportunity for Jack Smith to get himself on the score sheet, and unfortunately blocked down. Really good work from Vincents in defence once more.
Numbers back, and you had a +1 as an extra man in there, and it was himself who actually got the block in, doing exactly what he's supposed to do in there, not wasting space or wasting time or crowding out anything, but crowding out any attacking opportunities or shots.
Strange. Crossfield to Concar. Clips the ball inside to Reynolds' hands, but that spills. And it's turnover from Paddy Kelly. He gets the ball out to McGuinness quickly. Kelly looking ahead. He's going to have to carry it himself. He's light on options, but he does find Stephen Smith. Gilmore pops it over the top. Jack Smith, he's in a dangerous spot here, but he's running out of road. And eventually Vincent's bottle him up once more, and really good scramble defence from Vincent's.
Yeah, he tried to spin out of the tackle.
But they've turned it over, and McGuinness has it, and he drops the shot short. That's the third time that they've dropped a shot short inside the opening 24 minutes. Now Brady.
Player of his qualities really should be putting that over. His team need him to do that. He knows he needs to do it. He needs to get into the game. And that's a crucial shot. Crucial score missed.
Mullins now. And Keane Dunn presents in front. Looks to turn his man. And he's running into traffic, so he feeds it back to Concar, who again looks to play a kick pass inside, but there's too many blue jerseys around Reynolds' hand. Adam Fearon on the ball now. He's also going to run into trouble, so he decides to go backwards to Dara Gaelty. Owen O'Connor Flanagan. Patient from Skerries. And Paul, is it just that lack of composure when they get to the top end of the pitch here, Skerries, because they've had opportunities?
They're running into a group of players, whatever about taking someone on, or actually a blind run, or someone running through to take attention of the extra man to create a space for somebody else. They don't seem to understand each other's movement at the moment to create a space for themselves or one of their teammates.
Now it's Stephen Smith running into traffic, and again Vincents are doing very, very well to strip a Skerries attacker.
And all his players that he wanted to nearly feed the ball back, they had all gone ahead of him. So the timing of the run and what the run is for is hugely important.
Is that something they can sort out before half time, or will they have to wait till then?
Well, the player himself always has to say something at half time. If management are seeing it, look guys, we're getting too far ahead of the play, we need to be able to recycle it to a shooter or recycle it to someone who can actually pick out a pass to someone inside.
Well, Vincents are back on the front foot with Concar. Lestrange. He's got options outside him. Now Gavin Burke. And Albie Martin. Keane Dunn 50 yards out. They'd like him closer to goal with the ball, but he might try to get on the end of a move here at some point. And now it's Dara Cummins, who looks to inject a bit of quality into this attack, and he does. A lovely little left-footed ball clipped over to the bar by Dara Cummins.
We know he's a scorer, and that's great, but what you notice about Vincent's, if he goes forward, it's Craig Wilson, number 7, is staying back as the extra man. He's sitting back in the pocket, he's protecting. If Skerries come on the attack in numbers, he drops back as a +1, but he's covering, he's actually stepping away from his man and just doing that job for Vincent's.
Okay, Cormac Rocks restarts the play, and a brilliant swing and fist from Killian McGuinness puts Skerries on the front foot. It's Kevin Gilmore now, but he runs into traffic again, manages to... It ends up being a line ball to Skerries Harps. So again, Vincent's doing really well to get a hand in, but Skerries retain possession, and now it's Ronan Gagan. Back to McEnany. He's being chased now by Albie Martin, who seems to have pulled up. And again, really good work from Vincents. This time Lestrange gets a hand in on McEnany. And St. Vincent's look to patiently work it out. Good composure.
I think Vincent's know what's on the line today. Skerries just haven't woken up to that reality. And they wanted an awful lot more.
And Dara Cummins now. He's got 3 players around him. Stays composed and gives it outside to Keane Dunn. Now Burke. Feels like he's been on the ball every 30 seconds or so. Now to Dunn, faced up by a couple of Skerries Harps defenders. So he's forced to go backwards. And Vincent's come across to this near side where Nathan Mullins has the ball. Now his cornerback, Shane O'Leary. Now it's Brady. Reynolds' hand. Not too much support in front of him. Brings it down to the corner all the same. And he was always going to struggle to get the ball out of that phone box there. Nice hand in from Ronan Gagan.
Yeah, Jarlath Curley was on the far side of the square, hand up, and it was a one-on-one. He had the advantage from behind. I thought he was looking to hit it over to him.
Well, Reynolds' hand has the option to pump it across if he wants this time, but instead they go back up the field towards Lestrange. That ball looked like it had gone out over the sideline, and the linesman certainly agrees. So Paddy Kelly has a chance to restart play. And he goes back to McEnany. Slightly risky ball there with the hand going in from Josh Kelly, but Skerries get away with it.
Yeah, poor sideline. So what the thought is there, trying to execute that is really difficult.
Now Rocks out wide to Jack Smith. What can Skerries produce this time? They've come up a little bit short on a lot of their attacks, and once more they've been turned over by a very organised and aggressive Vincents defence. Concar has time to spill it and regather. Now it's Albie Martin. He's running into traffic, and it's turned over, and now it's on the front foot with Owen O'Connor Flanagan. Ball spilled, and it's Paddy Kelly once more, but the pace has been taken out of this attack for Skerries, but they do get back on the front foot. Now it's Jack Smith. And out to Ethan Dunn, who clips the ball off the post and wide, and yet again Skerries can't profit.
Yeah, I'm not down to draw too closely, but it's like man against boys in the tackle, you know. Like Vincents are putting bodies on the line and the ball is being spilled. Skerries are going to tackles and they're losing it. You know, they've only themselves to blame for the position that they're in. And saying that, you know, there's nothing in it. There could be an awful lot more either way.
Excellent work from Josh Kelly. Clips the ball inside to Reynolds' hand. Kelly gets the ball once more, and now Nathan Mullins, and he was going to be hitting traffic there, but does manage to retain possession. Hangs up a hand pass into the air for Dara Cummins, this time with his right foot, and splits the post once more. Excellent. 2 points from 2 shots for Dara Cummins.
Yeah, pass to Nathan Mullins, a little bit hospital, but it's not the first time Nathan has taken a heavy knock on the pitch around that area. Remember one from James O'Carty a couple of years ago. He turned out to be nearly man of the match that day, but he did really well, kept possession, and Cummins comes up the pitch and kicks a great score off his right foot. So
half time here at Parnell Park, and St. Vincent's are 6 points to 1-1 from Skerries. Skerries did play against a strong wind in that first half, and just keeping an eye on the scores in the other games in this group. And the game at O'Toole Park between Thomas Davis and Kilmacud Crokes, that started late. There was an injury to a Nafina player in the previous game, so it didn't start until 4:30. And after 5 minutes of the game, now this update was 6 minutes ago as we speak, it was a point each there, so not too much movement at the moment. But in terms of St. Vincent's, their future and getting through to the next stage of the competition, it's all looking good at the moment in terms of being ahead and 2 points in front, but there's a lot to play for in the second half, and a lot can change here, Paul.
Yeah, we wanted, I thought, maybe a 4 or 5 point lead with that breeze was going to make a difference. And then if Skerries were playing well in that first half, you would think that they could overcome that 4 or 5 point lead. As it is, Skerries haven't played well. One player has scored for them 1-1. Number of wides, number of bad execution from key players on shots, turned the ball over many's a time. Midfield, nearly dominance with Lestrange, Mullins and Gavin Burke, and I thought that diamond of centre half forward, centre half back in midfield was going to be strong for Skerries. It's been really strong for Vincents. So is 2 points enough? Possibly not. Can Vincents hold on? Possibly they could. But certainly Skerries are going to have to pick it up, and whether they're going to make changes, I don't know. Whether they have the manpower to do that, or whether they're brave enough to do that, to try and go and win this game. But at the moment, Vincents want it more than Skerries.
Yep, so coming up to half-time, St. Vincent's, their position in the knockout stages would be secured, and Skerries Harps would be heading towards a basement battle. Just in terms of the chances in the first half, Skerries have converted just 2 of 9 to get 1-1, 6 of 9 for Vincent's, so they've certainly been that bit more accurate in front of goals. But it's all to play for in the second half, and we'll be back in just a few minutes' time.
Stay City Apart Hotels. Half apartment, half hotel. warm beds, comfy sofas, and fully equipped kitchens. We offer guests more, so you can do more. Cook, sleep, work, play. Welcoming, accommodating, and big beds for jumping. Smart travellers choose Stay City because Stay City is the smart choice. Stay City, half apartment, half hotel, all across Europe. Save 10% every time you book at staycity.com.
We're delighted to extend the partnership with Go Ahead Ireland. They're an organisation that serves communities all over Dublin and helps serve our club members around the county, and it's been a brilliant partnership for the last 3 years, and we're delighted to extend for a further 2 years.
Like us, Dublin GAA are embedded in their community, so it was a really natural fit. For us, it was important to find a partner that was inclusive, but also had that community identity, and that's exactly what we found in Dublin GAA. Since we started the partnership, they've been really easy to work with, and we're really excited to continue the journey together.
In those 3 years, we actually accomplished a lot with Dublin GAA. We were privileged to be able to work with both local and national charities with them, as well as working on several GAA initiatives.
This partnership allows us to support Club League and Championship and initiatives such as our Dubs TV live streaming platform. We try and stream as many games as possible, particularly during the championship season where we can from a logistical point of view around grounds, and that is something we will continue to try and deliver over the coming years and keep enhancing club championship product and club leagues around the county across all 4 codes.
In the coming months, we're going to be continuing growing our services. And while we do that, that means that we'll be serving more GAA community clubs than ever before.
This year alone, we're going to be introducing the Development Fund for Accessibility as part of our partnership, which is going to see core infrastructure at Dublin GAA developed. In the summer, we're also introducing the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin LGFA Summer Skills Camps, which will be held in July and August.
As Dublin's best performing public bus operator, we're going to continue to work really hard on delivering for our customers and our communities.
One of my favourite places to grab a coffee in Dublin is Bua. It's one of these kind of COVID coffee trucks that popped up, and it's kind of developed into this bit of a social hub. I'll always find myself being drawn back to social fabric. It's just a beautiful place to go. They always have consistently good food there. Bar 1661. So I love watching them make the cocktails, shake it up, garnish it, serve it. Howth village itself is a lovely little kind of seaside town. The Gravity Bar up on the top floor of the storehouse, and it's just an amazing place, an amazing view of Dublin City. Definitely visit Temple Bar and take in what's there. My advice would be to try your best to see other parts of the city. Brian Fenton, this is my Dublin.
It has to be Tang on Abbey Street. You can't beat their flatbreads with the chickpeas and spicy chicken. It's Irish owned, great food, great people. Shoe Lane beside Tara Street train station. It was close to Trinity where I went to college. They have nice croissants, fruit scones. If you're ever looking for a quiet place to go and chat with your mates, the Snug and Chaplin's has to be the go-to. Lovely old interior. Just have to get the dart out to Vico Baths, bring the swimming togs, go for a dip, and you get a lovely view of Killarney Bay. The Epic Museum, I think it's something nice to just figure out the history of the city. You have to go and visit a GAA or hurling or camogie game. It's the most amazing atmosphere. It's going to be an unforgettable experience. Cian O'Sullivan, this is my Dublin.
Tribeca in Ranelagh. I had to go with my family. It's a favourite of ours. Definitely recommend trying their wings. The Metro Cafe, it's a great spot for people watching, especially when it's sunny outside. An oat milk cappuccino would be my go-to. The atmosphere in Devitt is always brilliant. We've had plenty of team nights out there, always great crack. The Timber Trove Cafe in the Dublin Mountains, it's a really cosy family-run cafe. Family House would definitely be a must visit. They have monthly markets on which are gorgeous. I would advise you to walk around the city because most of the main attractions are close by and you can get there quicker on foot. Niamh Gannon, this is my Dublin.
Kyo's Cafe in Portobello. I really like going back just for the vibe. It's nice and chill, people are really cool. Trails Cafe in Ticknock. The coffee is really, really good. Americano, small bit of milk, and you're good to go and hit the trails. Blue light is always a nice roaring fire. We tend to go up after All-Ireland final week. It's a really nice place to be. I'd recommend getting out to Poolbeg Lighthouse. It's a great walk out. You get a great view back of the city. If you get the chance, I'd go up to Kickoff, go up and rent a mountain bike. Trails up there are pretty cool. Bring a raincoat, a shower's never too far away. Orla Nolan, this is my Dublin.
We met down at Fairview, and Kieran's brother was a friend of my brother's. We met through them, so when I was coming up to the Debs, I invited Kieran to my Debs. He asked me to marry him, and I said yes, so long as our firstborn child played for Vincents. And he said, okay, grand. It's great to have our family involved as well. I suppose if the kids weren't as interested in it as we were, it'd be very tough on us.
Kieran's are playing Vincents. The tension in the house is gas. Mum is obviously Vincents and Dad is Kieran, so Mum always claims that she'll give John steak for dinner and she won't feed Kevin. But it's always a bit of a laugh, but I suppose no one takes it too seriously.
She had her hands full. She could have got the job as a bus driver. The amount of dropping off and picking up she did from matches around. Leaving some matches early to go to another match to make sure she got the end of that, or make sure we all got the same amount of attention. There was no favourites.
It means everything. I don't know what we'd do without it, to be fair. We eat, drink and sleep it.
It's always through the family like the rest of us. There's not enough to put in words, I'd say.
I know my whole life at this rate.
We're very proud parents. That's a huge achievement to have 100% of your family still playing. And we're proud of them all, every one of them.
My name is Niamh Heatherton.
My name is John Heatherton. I'm Kieran Heatherton.
I'm Patsy Heatherton, and as a family,
our roots are set in the GAA.
Welcome back to Parnell Park here. Half-time of the Go-Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior 1 football clash between St. Vincent's and Skerries. At St. Vincent's 6 points, Skerries Harps 1-1. In that first half, Paddy Kelly scored everything basically for Skerries Harps. On the other side, Dara Cummins got a couple, as did Gavin Burke. Cian Dunn knocked over a free, and Paul Reynolds' hand, he also got his name on the scoreboard. What will Skerries need to do in the second half, Paul Clark, to turn this around? Because it's seasons on the line for both teams.
Well, substitutions, and I think we see already one in for them. Killian Emmett is number 18, and he's into the game as well. And I think, as we were discussing there at half time, that Kevin Gilmore hadn't started, and he's in there now at number 12. So straight away they've made substitutions. They need obviously a lot more energy and a little bit more leadership from them players that have been with Dublin for the last couple of months prior to the All-Ireland defeats, and they need to get a good start in this and hopefully make a better game of it, because if they went 2 or 3 points up, that'll test Vincents and see what they can reply with.
Well, just there is another game also ongoing here in Group 4, and at the moment, and this is a couple of minutes ago, the latest update, Thomas Davis are 1-3, Kilmacud Crokes are 4 points. That goal came from a penalty from Chris Sallier, so that could change things dramatically in this group. As things stand, Kilmacud Crokes, they're on 4 points. St. Vincent's are on 2, would be on 4 if this result remained as things are at the moment. Thomas Davis, they would also be on 4, and Skerries Harps would be on 0. So it would go down to a mini league between the 3 teams that would finish on the same, and it would be the score difference among them. So it's very exciting to hear, certainly potentially over the next half hour or so. And just a further update that game between Thomas Davis and Kilmacud Crokes started a little bit late because there was an injury in the previous game involving a Nafiana player. In terms of the Skerries players, Killian McGuinness and Greg McEnany, I suppose, are the 2 standout names for people who'll be watching Dublin over the last couple of years, and they are players that we've seen sparks of what they can do in the first half, but they haven't truly caught fire yet.
No, obviously Greg is in there to do a job at number 11, but it seems that he would drop back as a +1. They're playing with a strong breeze. I wouldn't expect them to go on back there too often. Let the players in defence do the job that they got to do. And from midfield, like Killian should be trying to run the legs off a Nathan Mullins or a Mark Lestrange and getting through into the crowded areas that Vincents are bringing players back, to try and break through before they get those players back. And even if it is then to draw out the +1 player that Vincents, I guess, will still have in there, and then getting the balls into the Smiths in that proper way. That ball popped out in front of them, they can win a turn and take guys on.
Okay, so St. Vincent's are ambling back out. They don't look to be in any massive rush. Referee Luke Lacey standing in the middle of the pitch, waiting to get things going once more.
You put Derek Cummins in the midfield there for the throw up, and Lestrange going back to centre half back.
Okay, so some of the backroom team for St. Vincent's walking across the pitch. They're in no massive rush to get this game going once more. As we said during the first half, there is a strong enough wind down towards the golf course end from left to right as you're looking at it on our picture. And eventually the backroom team for St. Vincent's might get off the pitch and we can get this game going once more. Very little in it, just 6 points to 1-1, 2 points in it. Everything to play for. Nothing is decided in this group. Crokes can't get relegated or go into the relegation clashes, but other than that, everything is on the line. Luke Lacey throws the ball up and it's a foul straight away. Derek Cummins, he moved out to midfield for the throw-in, but he was just getting a little bit too close to Ethan Dunn there. St. Vincent start the second half the way they ended the first, which is yet another turnover. Josh Kelly gets it to Cummins. Reynolds' hand out in front once more, being shadowed by Derek Ailty. Reynolds' hand is a tricky enough player, and back to Josh Kelly. Burke. That's Craig Wilson. Mullins and then Lestrange. Got Josh Kelly presented in front and out wide as another option. And Vincent's again back to Mullins, so there are no rush moving this ball forward, Paul.
Yes, I know it's a bit early to be seeing the clock out, but they're well in control and they know exactly what they're doing. They kept them in the dressing room for a little bit longer at half time, maybe to just trash out a few things and what's expected of them.
Now Keane Dunn on the ball. Outside him is James Brady. Lestrange and Mullins. Now it's Burke. Lestrange. And again, really patient.
But not making any inroads. You can be patient and still work your way up to the pitch, getting inside the 50-yard line, and then, then looking for someone to make that burst, to make the cut, to create that scoring opportunity. But Vincents are happy enough. They have a lot of experienced players. Ball in hand is where they want it, and that's what they have. If they have it, Skerries can score.
Now Burke tempted to kick upfield, but instead pads it inside to Michael Concar, with whom he does a 1-2. And now it's Wilson again. Lots of Vincent's players getting plenty of touches early in this second half. Cummins with the give and go, but Mullins goes the other way. Now it's Brady on the loop. And back to Keane Dunn. Josh Kelly now. And he works it back outside to Keane Dunn, who has a cut with his left foot. And the umpire scrambles to get that white flag and put it over the bar. Brilliant point with his left foot after some really patient work from St. Vincent's, Paul.
Yeah, that is a great score off his left foot. It's not a stronger foot, but a really penetrating flight in the ball and a fine score from like a 2 or 3 minute period of possession. And maybe the guts of 50 passes and a score at the end is what they wanted.
And Adam Fearon tries to inject a bit of pace as Skerries properly get their hands on the ball for the first time, but he runs out of road there, but Skerries do retain possession. It is their line ball.
Yeah, Dunn made a tackle there, played it down, started it onto himself. Sideline ball for them.
Now it's Gagan. And Sean Rocks. Now McGuinness. Looks for 1-2, but Dara Cummins, he knew it was coming and intercepted. Looks to work it outside, but instead it's intercepted once more by Killian Emmett. Skerries let off a little bit there, and that was Paddy Kelly. Gives it inside to Owen O'Connor Flanagan. The umpires consult each other and eventually decided that was over the bar. Instant response from Skerries Harps.
Yeah, he's nearly looking initially to pass the ball outside, but then realised he had a bit of space around him, and then just flight the ball up was the right thing to do, because it was well within range, that breeze behind him, and he's a player that can do that.
Adam Smith puts it up for Albie Martin, who catches that ball very well with Killian Emmett nearby. Eventually St. Vincent's are in a tight spot and pumped the ball up the field, and it's been turned over, and now it's Kevin Gilmore. Skerries now injecting a nice bit of pace into this. And a long solo, and eventually it's straight over the bar from Jack Smith, so that's 2 points on the bounce for Skerries Harps.
Yeah, referee was playing advantage, it would have been a free anyway, but get the ball, very little space on his right hand side as he turned down the sideline, but took him on, and it's a fine score from Jack.
And a substitution being made by St. Vincent's now. That's the number 24, Bill Costello, who comes in for Josh Kelly. So Vincent's with a chance now to organise themselves ahead of this kick out. Yeah. Kicking into the wind is Andy Smith.
Costello, good footballer and a good left foot on him, so another little scoring threat that he has.
And that's been turned over straight away by Kieran Murphy. He has a chance to pull the trigger, and it's turned back by Craig Wilson, but goes on his left foot and puts it over that way instead. And the game has been levelled very quickly now. 1-4 to Skerries, 7 points to St. Vincent's.
Yeah, Skerries are getting themselves into the game, albeit mistakes by Vincent's. It's now time to turn the screw and see what they've got, and we'll hear the crowd roar a little bit more. The amount of people from Skerries that have travelled will give them a bit of voice.
And Vincent's kick out has been turned over once more. Greg McEnany on the ball now as Harps look to go in front. He plays it inside to Paddy Kelly. 1-1 to his name already. Here comes Gilmore on the outside. And Kelly winds up. Has a pop from 30 yards. And it has the distance. The wind caught that. It's over the bar. Skerries 1-5. Vincent's 7.
Yeah, Kelly has definitely forced the selector's hands. He's come in as a not named to start, but obviously he was always in the selector's mind to start, and he's definitely proved him right.
And this time Smith does get his kick out away, and Vincent's withhold possession, retain possession, and it's back with their keeper. Gives it now to James McCusker. McCusker carrying the ball into traffic, and eventually the hand pass back towards his teammate Shane O'Leary goes astray, and Skerries are on the front foot once more. Murphy pads the ball over the top. Kelly's at the end of it and spills the ball over the end line. Brilliant goal chance if he could have gathered that first time, Paul.
Yeah, I don't know what his own man grinned away. Jack Smith was in there as well, but the advantage would have been to Kelly because he was one that was facing the ball. I think Jack Smith was really coming out, and he started just getting his way slightly and put him off.
So after a first half where Skerries were struggling for scores, converted just 2 of 9 chances, they did knock over their first 4 in a row, but left a really good goal chance behind them there after yet again stripping St. Vincent's of possession. Smith goes long this time, and arrows a really nice kick out to Albie Martin. Not the first time he's gathered a kick out. Now it's Burke driving forward with Cummins. Cummins has 2 points already. He runs into a couple of blue shirts, turns inside them, and the fist pump lets you know that ball is straight between the posts.
What a stop and a turn. He got a sixpence, going through strong, right foot, stopped really sharp, and just turned the body inside himself. He kicked a great point to the left. Well worth a fist pump.
That's 3 points for Sligo man Cummins. Skerries look to pump the ball upfield, but it's cut out by Craig Wilson. It's James Brady, patient on the ball. Now it's McCusker out wide to Michael Concar, a player who's seen it all before. Martin and Mullins. It's Concar. Now it's Burke. Plays it to Costello and it's Burke once more. Skerries' jerseys around him and manages to kick that ball away. Reynolds' hand. Has a shot from 25 yards out on the right hand side, and that just draws to the right and wide, so perhaps forcing that opportunity, Paul. And Skerries are getting their kick out away. First wide of the second half that was for St. Vincent's. Reynolds' hand, and Skerries just about get away with one there.
Yeah, nearly no turnover. Seems to be a game of mistakes, all right. Just cut them out, and you want to win this game, do that.
Ronan Gagan now carrying the ball out the field for Skerries Harps. On his shoulder is Adam Fearon. Continues to inject pace, and now Killian McGuinness. McGuinness to Ethan Dunn. And he has 3-4 Vincent's players for company. Eventually McGuinness gets back involved. And again Vincent's hassling these Skerries players who get in each other's way. And now Vincent's are on the front foot, but really good work from Ronan Gagan to get his body in the way of James Brady. That extra bit of size making all the difference there. And now it's Paddy Kelly, plays it inside. Smith now, nice little step onto his right foot. Thinks better of it and goes back to Kieran Murphy. Now it's Stephen Smith and Killian Emmett. It's tight spaces and Skerries fumbled the ball, but Murphy has it once more. Looks for the banana shot, but that just goes to the right and wide, and he's let know by Adrian Cummins too, who gives him a little pat on the back.
Yeah, he did. He sort of vocalised it in the back of his head. If he wasn't too sure if it was wide, he told him it was. Referee has let the lot go. A lot of contact, 2 or 3 bodies, 4 bodies around some players, still playing on. Players have to battle their way out of those type of things. So don't go in there expecting to get a free. It'll be hard worked.
Now it's Costello, but Sean Rocks gets a nice hand in there. And Costello has the sideline all the same. And Burke is always showing for the ball, looking to dictate things for St. Vincent's. And Mullins is never too far away, offering himself for possession. Lestrange from deep. Kicks the ball inside to Reynolds' hand. But really good work from the Skerries Harp defenders. Especially Dara Gailty there. And somehow Vincent's and Cian Dunn have it. And Cian Dunn's on the front foot. Goes for the shot, but it drops a little bit short, and Cormac Rocks is able to collect and give it out to his defence. So great work initially, Paul, but a chance passed up by Vincent's.
Good battle and hard work, and just to have that little 5% more composure, the execution of the shot, and it would have been a well-worthy return for his efforts. Seemed to take a little bit of a knock when he did that, Dunn, but he'll shake that off.
Fear not for the first time tries to carry the ball out, but he's upended by Reynolds' hand, and I think the referee, Luke Lacey, well, he was considering for a second, I think, going for a yellow card, but opted against it. Now a substitution being made by the Harps. Killian Emmett seems to be the man withdrawn, and we'll just update you on the player coming in. I think it's number 23, which is Owen Wild. So level game, 13 minutes into the second half.
Wild has been a very successful underage player for Dublin. Plenty of potential in him, so he's going to get an opportunity now at senior championship football and see what he can do.
The Skerries have created a problem for themselves with a ball being spilled. And eventually great work from James Brady, and now on the front foot are St. Vincent's and Cian Dunn with a kick pass over the top. Reynolds' hand, of course, at the end of it, as he always seems to be. And a couple of the Skerries Harps defenders were a little over eager, including Fearon. And it's going to be free for Vincent's from about 30 yards out. Again, it's the turnovers, Paul.
Yeah, well, I had this discussion with Oisin yesterday about mistakes, and he said that's enjoyable to watch. I said maybe for the neutrals, but not for a manager. And I'd always find that at inter-county level, very few mistakes are made. If one is made, it's punished. Very rarely will you make a mistake. A team will make a mistake and give the ball straight back to you. At senior level, you should see less of it. But what we've seen today is the score wide. It's disappointing. Again, I thought he would have struck her off the ground. But it's to see mistake when it's want someone to get their hand on the ball and actually be brave enough and keep possession and do the right thing and find the right pass and not turn the ball over in a tackle or force something.
How much of that is the pressure of the occasion and knowing that everything is on the line here?
Oh God, no, you go out and say this is what I really want to do and I want that hand pass correctly, I want a foot pass correctly. I don't want to run into trouble, particularly when you see a team setting up with numbers behind the ball.
Now it's Stephen Smith and Kieran Murphy, who was involved earlier in the attack. And he cuts through the gap. He has a chance to shoot and eventually does on his left foot. And the umpire goes for the white flag. So that's Skerries after being let off at one end. They've scored at the other to fire themselves ahead.
Yeah, the gap just opened up for him. Really, really easy. Fine score off his left foot.
That's his second score of the day. Vincents have the ball after the kick out. Working it around close to their own goal. Comfortable doing so. Shane O'Leary brings it outside. And now it's up to James Brady. And a lot of good pressure from the Skerries team, including Paddy Kelly, who has 1-2 to his name, but he can do work going the other way too. Ethan Dunn with the ball.
He was lucky to get away with that quick free. The player was very, very close when he was passing it.
McEnany is inside now to the replacement, Owen Wild, who has a chance to go back onto his left foot. Takes aim at looking for the inside of the right hand post, but it just goes to the far side of it. So that's a let off for Vincents. A 7th wide for the Skerries side. Andy Smith pumps it out for his favourite target, Albie Martin, certainly in the second half. And Martin delivers once more, wins that ball, and is fouled by Ethan Dunn.
Yeah, he's shown for the ball a lot. Shown for it really well. He's a strong footballer, and he's shown a lot of energy. And it's not something maybe that he's known for, because he's great up the pitch and getting the scores. But he's certainly been an outlet today for Vincent's kickouts.
Bill Costello. It's been lively since coming on. Cian Dunn has the ball and gets a chance to turn. And after missing that free a couple of moments ago, it seemed he was destined to level the scores there, but no, just drags it to the right and wide. Another substitution now for Skerries Harps. That's the number 10 who hadn't initially started, Harry Dawson, a really quality player, Paul, to be able to bring on.
Experienced player, yeah, really experienced player to bring in.
Jack Smith carries the ball past Costello. He's got options either side. And in front of him, he has Owen O'Connor-Flanagan, who looks to clip the ball over, but drops it short. That's the 4th time in this game that Skerries Harps have dropped the ball short. Gavin Burke now switches it across the pitch to the number 12, James McCusker.
It's so much time on his hands just to clip that score over. When I seen it, I thought maybe, did he see a player inside? It was a pass. It was an awful execution. I don't know, I think maybe, I hope for something to kickstart the game and really get it going for the last 15 or so minutes, but a goal in this might actually win it for the team.
It's Mark Lestrange. Ambitious kick pass across the field and puts Nathan Mullins under an awful lot of pressure. He does very, very well. Ethan Dunn maybe a little over-eager there, and St. Vincent's have the free, which they use very quickly. Reynolds' hand. Vincent staying patient. Just a point in it. 12 minutes left in this game, plus whatever is added on by Luke Lacey. Shane O'Leary goes back to James Brady. Wilson across to McCusker. Now it's Burke looking to run into the heart of the Skerries defence, and perhaps a little bit generous. Had he run out of road, or?
I thought he had, and as he turned he went to ground, but I don't, was he going to ground anyway? Was there a bit of a help from a hand around his waist? This you would say in the first half Don would kick this handily, but he's missed one from play and he's missed a free already. Is he going to put it on the deck and try and strike it from there and try and keep the flight of the ball? Is he going to go high out of his hands?
Another substitution been made now by St. Vincent's. Give you that update in a moment. In the other game, it's half-time. Thomas Davis won 4, Kilmacud Crokes 6. Now Dunn has his chance. It's the number 18 that's come in for St. Vincent's, by the way, Neil Matthews. Now it's done, and this time he splits the posts and levels the game.
And they're not pressing the kick out at all. They're dropping back out to the 45, letting Skerries have the ball.
And Skerries are happy to go short and work it out slowly. Sean Rocks making an offer on the outside for Jack Smith, but he goes himself, and Keane Dunn tries to make the tackle, but Skerries still have it. Greg McEnany. Outside now to Killian McGuinness, a man with plenty of Dublin experience. Puts it back inside to McEnany. Now McEnany has a chance to give it to McGuinness, who runs into contact, and perhaps that slowed him up, and eventually he puts that to the right and wide.
Yeah, it looks like Derek Cummins maybe just doing a little man marking role, and McGuinness, he's watching all his movements. I think they were nearly looking for a free, bit of an off the ball contact as the shot was going away, but referee made the right decision.
As you said all game, he seems to be letting a bit of contact go.
Yeah.
Now it's the number 7, Craig Wilson. That wind seems to have picked up a little bit. You can feel that gusting up here in the press box.
For the championship game with this, importance to get through to a quarter final and secure that, so far into a game, we're looking at a 1-6 to 9 points. That's not a score. That's something you'd see in a wintry old league match somewhere in the muck and the dirt, not on a pitch like Parnell Park. But there's a breeze, but it's competitive, and it should be. Teams should be scoring more than that. You need to be scoring more than that if you want to win the game.
Once again, really good pressure from Skerries. Harps forces the turnover. That was Paddy Kelly once more on Nathan Mullins, who, to be fair, when he got the ball was on the ground, so it was always going to be difficult to retain the ball. And now it's Killian McGuinness. McGuinness has it once more, has a pop with his left foot. It will drop short, and Andy Smith, I should say, manages to get it out. And now Wilson is under a huge amount of pressure. 3 Skerries Harps around him, but he does manage to retain the ball. That's the 5th time, believe it or not, that Skerries have dropped a shot short. Martin to Cummins, who has 3 points in this game already. And Burke. Reynolds' hand. 1-2. The ball has been thrown up in the air, but Jack Smith couldn't quite get there. Now Burke might be all the way in, and a slide tackle of sorts from Jack Smith manages to flick the ball out, and it's been given as a wide. We'll watch that once more. Burke with a really incisive run here. Jack Smith all over him. Little bit of a slide tackle. That looked like a 45 to me, Paul.
He had lost possession of the ball. Got his foot with sliding to knock it away. So was it a penalty in ways? I don't think so, because the possession of the ball had gone. Is it a 45? I would have thought yes, because I didn't see it hitting anybody else. And he's gone to his umpires, rightly so, and asked what the story is, and he's saying 45. So
that slide tackle, probably not something you'd see every day. But
well, if the referee thought it gone wide, he obviously thought that Gavin Burke knocked it wide, and it wasn't Jack Smith's boot that actually did it. If he looks back on it again, he might think otherwise. But
well done. Either way, has an opportunity to put his side ahead. As I said, it's 9 points to 1-6 into the wind. We saw We saw one of the keepers have a go into the wind already, and that came up a little bit short. Now Dunn has his opportunity.
I think he has it in him. It's not. This is within his range, but his performance so far from frees has been out of his hands. Is forcing really off the ground. See, has he got it?
Has the pop and seemed to go slightly side-footed on that and never got the power into
it.
It
was just forcing off the deck today. So it's a big ask.
Skerries happy enough to pick up the pieces, and McEnany plays it upfield to Ethan Dunn. On the shoulders, Adam Fearon, as he has been many times this game. And now it's Stephen Smith, who has a chance to run past a Vincent's defender, gives it to Kieran Murphy, and he's inside the 14 with traffic around him, but does manage to fashion a little bit of space and put that ball over the bar and put Skerries a point ahead.
Yeah, Skerries can be thankful for Murphy and Paddy Kelly today. They're the ones that are keeping their scoreboard ticking over.
And really nice conversion there at the end of that move from Murphy, who's certainly grown into the game. And St. Vincent's did look to get that kick out away, but Luke Lacey has decided to call the play back here. He may be throwing the ball up at the 21, which gives Skerries a chance to try to pin in this St. Vincent's team. Ethan Dunn up against Cummins, and the ball it's in the mixer at the moment. Paddy Kelly's at the end of it, and he pads it outside. Owen O'Connor's Flanagan, and he's under duress from the St. Vincent's defenders, but eventually it's Greg McEnany, and now laterally out to McGuinness, who gives it to Stephen Smith, and this is a real opportunity to put two between the teams. Smith eventually has a pop, but it just goes outside the post. That's a real let-off, Paul.
Took two solos to steady himself, and I thought the second one was, well, that's going to secure it for sure, and kicked wide right, poor enough. I'm looking at the game for moments where there's that ruck of players and it spills out, and there's another ruck of players and it spills out. It's a bit like a rugby match in ways. There's rucks forming everywhere, and then the ball comes out, and then fellas gather around somebody else. Adam
Smith puts that ball up in the air, and the wind really does catch that. Mullins had a chance to get it, and eventually it's touched on the ground by Jack Smith.
I think he withdrew. I thought he withdrew his hand, and he didn't touch it.
Well, either way, Luke Lacey has decided that he did, and Vincent's are on the front foot. Mark Lestrange playing into this wind up the hill. Vincent's are a point behind, but there's plenty of time left. Almost 4 minutes of normal time and a little bit of injury time also. In the other game, Thomas Davis, there's still a point ahead, 1-5-7. That's 35 minutes gone. That game was delayed. Now it's Dara Cummins out to his number 4, Shane O'Leary.
It's been the first time in a long time Crokes haven't played the championship match in Parnell Park.
And O'Toole Park is that bit tighter.
Bit tighter, and also it's Thomas Davis, and no one would be fond of playing them, you know. They're still in the mix every year. They're always a threat.
Now it's Adam Fearon. And Skerries, and the ball is thrown up and put into danger, and it could be turned over here. Really good work from Vincents to get the ball back, Nathan Mullins, and eventually it's Gavin Burke, who always looks to kick the ball upfield, and he does now to Reynolds' hand, who's been faced up by Ronan Gagan. Tight angle, and Reynolds' hand backs himself to do something with his left foot from that angle, but clips it wide on the near side, Paul.
You know, like he stood him up, thought goal, but really just a step a little bit to the left hand side to give herself 2 yards of space and clip her over the bar, and still in the game. Like, is his head not in at the moment? And we should have been aware what was in it, and a point was going to get them back into the game in a draw, and see what happens from a kick out.
Yet again, Skerries Harps had the ball, and a bit of a miscommunication, and they've managed to give it back to St. Vincent's, who were playing it across their own goals, something you're told from underage not to do, but they do get away with it. Good work, and eventually they do get out of the danger zone. Neil Matthews doing really well back there under pressure, and now it's Gavin Burke. Gets the head up as he always does, and his marker Ronan Gagan limps off to the sideline. Will he come back on? He does gingerly come back onto the field. Now it's Reynolds' hands with a chance to make up for the last attack, and he does really well to get away from Killian McGuinness. and clipped the ball inside to James Brady. And Brady is looking to take on his man, but really excellent work from the Skerries Harp defence, and the referee he has the decision to make here. Is that overcarrying from Adam Fearon, who'd done really well to dispossess Brady.
That was a brilliant tackle, and their man just put his body weight down on him. It had to be a free out straight away.
Well, Luke Lacey didn't call anything too quickly, and there's a small bit of a schmozzle. A couple of players coming in, pricing up the situation, but nothing overly excitable happening. Now the referee has to make a decision. Was that a free for overcarrying by Fearon?
The referee's going to hop it, is he?
Yep.
I think Nathan convinced him there now. He was in there just politely saying, what are you going to do? And just hop the ball.
Bit of consultancy work from Mullins there. And he'll be going up for this ball with Ethan Dunn by the looks of it. There may also be a switch in the meantime for St. Vincent's. Just wait to see who that is. But Brennell's hand being withdrawn by the looks of it. Still haven't quite identified the player. We'll update you when we do. Mullins has it. Works it out to his teammate Brady, who seems to be on the ball an awful lot throughout this game. Switches across field to his fellow wing back Craig Wilson, and Costello now. Free man inside, and
God, he was there for a period of time. It was unbelievable. He had his hands up. Now maybe it would have been a super pass to try and get it into him, but my God, he was in there free for a long time. I wish Skerries let him in there.
Now Cummins, who has 3 points already, carries it towards the D. Dunn makes an offer. He runs into traffic in the shape of Dara Gailty. Now it's Costello, and he has to go backwards to Nathan Mullins. Goes outside again to McCusker.
Vincent had to work this now and really get it to a shooter. Or get it into a good range.
We're in injury time now, and Vincent's are a point behind. Really hard work from Skerries. Brady, and up the line to the substitute who's come on a minute ago, and looks like Skerries had that ball turned over, but eventually it goes out over the line.
Couple of big collisions there now. It might be another minute or two to tidy these up before they see it out. If it's the Vincent sideline, you want to work something. You want to, not having to boom it inside, but play it like a 1-2 and create a score and get your shooter on the ball.
Just an update in the other game. They were both due to start at the same time, but Thomas Davis, who were 1-5-7 ahead, there's a red card to Farley for Thomas Davis there, but so that could have a big impact on how that game goes. That's only 37 minutes in. It started late. So St. Vincent's have the ball. As I said, we're 2 minutes into injury time at this stage, and they have the ball, and the linesman has decided that went over the sideline. Bill Costello, who's then dumped to the ground by Sean Rocks, but the referee is happy to let play continue. Now it's Dawson. He gets the ball out to Gagan, who seems to have recovered from that blow he took a little while ago. Now it's Kelly, who's 1-3 already. Back to Gagan. Going aside to 21. Back to Kelly once more, who runs into a glut of Vincent's jerseys. Eventually, a Skerries Harps man goes down a little bit easy. Referee wasn't buying it. I think that was Owen O'Connor Flanagan, and Vincent's are out. It's Costello with the ball. He's got Burke, of course, offering for it. Now it's the cornerback, Shane O'Leary, and eventually we're back out to Costello once more. O'Leary for Vincent's. Crucial attack now, deep into injury time, a point behind. And now it's Cummins, as we said, 3 points to his name already. He's carrying it into traffic, but the traffic is doing well to stay with him. That's Jack Smith. Jack Smith holding him up. O'Leary waiting outside. He has to go backwards, all the way back to midfield, where Nathan Mullins gathers it. Nice little clip with the outside of the foot, but it slows up the attack somewhat.
Referee had to be looking at the watch now, because we're well into 3:20, 3:30 area now.
Well, Vincents, they're on the front foot. They're inside, close to goal. And eventually now it's the substitute who palms that ball over the bar. That's the number 13, Caleb O'Brien.
I want to go back a couple of minutes. Skerries lost the game just in that period of time on that attack. Just get it over the bar. Go take your 2 points, 2-point lead, and see what happens.
Well, before this game, Skerries Harps, they were on 0 points, and a win here would have put them level with St. Vincent's on 2, and then it was down to what happens between Thomas Davis and Kilmacud Crokes. But that game started late, so we won't know by the end of broadcast the situation in that game. But Skerries Harps, either way, they need to get a score here to go one ahead. We're in the 35th minute, and it's Dawson. Now kick pass going deep inside, and it's broken away by Vincents, who are on the front foot once more. And that's the final whistle from Luke Lacey. Drawn game here at Parnell Park. Finishes up 10 points to St. Vincent's. Skerries Harps 1-7. Paul, Skerries had their chances laid on. That's them finishing on 1 point, and they will go into the relegation.
Yeah, they had a final attack there, but the ball was turned over, and credit to Vince, get up the pitch and hand passed over the bar. You know, if Skerries want to say where they didn't win the game, or they lost, if you want to call it, that was in the first half. The performance was poor enough, and you know, maybe not taken away from Vincents. All around the pitch there was a lot of hard work. There was a lot of bodies on the line. They were tight and hard in the tackles. The referee let that game go, and allowed that to happen for them, and it played nicely into the style of play that they had.
Okay, well, St. Vincent's, they finished the group on 3 points. Thomas Davis, as we said at the moment, they're playing Kilmacud Crokes, and the teams are level, albeit Thomas Davis are down to 14 men. So as things are, it's unbelievably tight in this group, and Kilmacud Crokes would be on 5 points if it finished the way it is now. And Skerries Harps, they finished the season on 1. So really exciting game here, and Nathan Mullins a little bit unhappy with referee Luke Lacey. There was words there after the final whistle. Ultimately, it's been a very tight group here, and Skerries are out, and Vincent's, I mean, they'll just be waiting nervously for the result from the game at O2 Park.
Vincent's in the first round, you know, are they in a period of rebuilding at this moment in time, and some say they might be. But they've a lot of good players and a lot of strong, proper club footballers who've been around a while, and their first game and their victory in the first game probably has set them up nicely, and knowing where they were going to be, and then going into the Crokes match. You know, obviously they probably didn't think to be playing Crokes and probably pushing Crokes, but they'd be delighted to come out with a draw today and a point, which secures for them. And on the flip side, Skerries would be awful disappointed in their performance. And we said, like, championship football, and normally you ain't going to win anything with that type of scoreline, you know. And the two key players for them that actually got them there, other players were very, very quiet.
Okay, so that's it here at Parnell Park. Finishes up 1-7 to Skerries Harps, 10 points to St. Vincent's. And just in terms of the quarterfinals, it'll be Coola against Castleknock, Nafina against Clontarf, and then it'll be second in this group against Ballymun, and the first team in this group will be against Ballyboden. So keep an eye on the Dublin GAA channels to see what the latest and how things pan out at the end of this evening. So that's it here from the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior Football Championship coverage, but we will go through the highlights, just recap on some of the good scores, like Keane Dunn with this perler from the left wing early in the game.
He probably could have doubled the scores from frees. He had a few chances as well from play.
There's Fearon, who made a lot of good runs throughout this game, and Paddy Kelly gathered it at the second attempt and did manage to put it into the back of the net.
That was a second goal opportunity. First one was saved.
Skerries will probably agonise over those as they have their couple of drinks this evening, just to reflect on the season and the opportunity they had. Here's Gavin Burke, who's involved throughout the game. A really excellent score from Burke.
Played really well as a proper number 11. Had a fine game.
And here's his other score. And Kelly, he was the only man to score for Skerries Harps in the first half, and Murphy, who fed him for that ball, he certainly got far more involved after the break.
Yeah. Look, they were just two key men for them to keep them just taking over. Cummins for Vincents pushed up lovely from was named at centre half back, went to midfield, and he contributed on the scoreboard too. It was really important. That was a great score off his left foot. Considering what he did miss, he's a seriously talented footballer, and that was a great score off his left foot, weaker foot.
Yeah, Owen O'Connor Flanagan, that was a really fine point from him. And Jack Smith, this was one of the scores of the game also, considering the distance he had to cover. And there was a period where Skerries Harps were turning over that Vincent's kick out very, very quickly and punishing the Marino side.
And the crowd were getting behind them, and you thought, well, this is where they could push on and just turn the screw and go 2 or 3 or 4 points ahead, and thinking, well, Vincent's will be out and they won't want to or won't be able to recover from that.
And here was a great chance for Kelly, and maybe someone interfered with his right hand as he tried to gather that possession.
Should a point been taken? Take the points. It's not going to be one of those days. They had the last day scored in 3-17. We need to kick 12, 13, 14 points maybe to win this match. They'll do us.
And there's Kieran Murphy, one of his fine scores.
Done again.
And here's this interesting situation. Jack Smith comes in with a flying slide tackle, and eventually it is a 45 for Vincents, which they don't convert.
Very risky, yeah.
This was a really fine score laid on. Caleb O'Brien, who'd been named to start but didn't.
And to have that composure, there is a composure, and then you have to execute it, obviously, to get it over the bar. Skerries had that, late on to go 2 points up and didn't take it. And then the ball was turned over up the pitch, and Vincent got the equaliser.
Okay, as we said, this game finished 1-7-10 after 53 minutes at O'Toole Park between Thomas Davis and Kilmacud Crokes. It's the exact same scoreline. Skerries were the ones who scored the major in that game, so it's very late, very tense there, and there will be big ramifications for St. Vincent's based on what happens in that other game. But from the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior Football Championship clash that we've had here at Parnell Park, that's it from myself, Shane Stapleton, and Paul Clark. There'll be plenty more coverage of the championship in the coming weeks.